Before the break, we told you about the decisions coming from the U.S. Supreme Court today.
Among the top issues taken up by the High Court, birthright citizenship, control over books and schools in Maryland, and requirements from the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. CBS News Justice Correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us from Washington now. Scott, thank you for joining us. Let's talk about the birthright
Kelsey
ruling.
and Jeff, welcome to the studio of the Takeout, where we're going to be talking about this topic at length starting at 5 o'clock on CBS News 24/7. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to interject that for you.
No, thank you so much for always joining us. This is a really nice in-depth conversation we always have. Let's start with birthright. What does this mean for Americans? It sent shockwaves through the migrant communities here especially, and then there is a class action lawsuit already filed.
Yeah, and that's not a surprise. The class action suits, two of them, in fact, are trying to respond to the Supreme Court ruling and still try to halt those birthright citizenship changes the president wants to make. Looking at the ruling, this is really an unambiguous victory for the Trump administration, which for months has been railing against the courts, alleging the courts are overreaching and stopping or freezing the will of the voters, even on controversial decisions that critics say are unconstitutional. Now a single federal judge sitting in Buffalo or in Boston or in Baltimore can't issue a nationwide halt to one of the administration's actions. It's going to be harder for there to be a nationwide freeze on what the administration's trying to do, even when there are concerns about constitutionality. That is an open road for President Trump, one he triumphantly championed, Jeff and Kelsey, in an hour-long White House press briefing room news conference today, saying this is a victory.
So with that class action lawsuits in the works now, what does the law exactly say, and what are we following? Has there been a stay, or is there a potential on a stay on this new ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court?
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, you're going to have more battles in the lower courts. I mean, there are already class action suits that are, again, trying to stop the president from eliminating birthright citizenship. Anybody born in the United States is a U.S. citizen, but also it complicates but doesn't end the ability of states or parties to challenge what the administration's doing. And New York's Attorney General has been part of an awful lot of lawsuits with other states' attorneys general, Democratic state attorneys general, to challenge things. They may have more impact because they're suing in multiple states and multiple jurisdictions. What's limited here, Jeff and Kelsey, is a single federal judge in the Western District of New York or the Western District of Texas from making a nationwide ruling in that singular city, in that singular district.
Let's quickly talk about Maryland. If a parent is feeling uncomfortable and they have a religious response to LGBTQ material being taught in schools, they can choose to opt out their child from, learning that material. So does that mean, the kid will have to be taught a whole nother lesson, go to the library maybe during that lesson, that sort of thing?
Really huge ruling here, Kelsey. It included photos of the books that were in question, which taught about same-sex marriage and gender dystopia. The majority ruled here that schools can't force parents and kids to learn things that don't share their values or that they have objections to. But the dissent, Jeff and Kelsey, is that if you let people opt out of any class they want to or any lesson they want to, that's going to be unsustainable for school districts. Maybe people opt out of classes about evolution or women scientists, according to Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
All right. It's a busy day for the U.S. Supreme Court. Busy day for Scott MacFarlane as well, it appears. All right, Scott, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.